Hello again, my grade 5 students. How are you? I hope that you are all fine and ready for the second lecture for semester 1. Yes, it's second lecture, but it is in week 4, okay? Are you ready? In this lecture, we are going to cover or make a revision for comprehension and phonics. It is very easy and simple for you. Don't worry about it. Okay, are you ready? First of all, we are going to read a story with each other. Then I have some questions on this story. Then we'll move to the phonics. Are you ready? Okay, let's start. And Nolbu, a Korean folktale. In a small village in the hills of Korea lived two brothers, Hangbu and Nolbu. Hangbu was known for his kindness, not for his success as a farmer. Nolbu was known for his wealth, not for his thoughtfulness. The two brothers did not have much in common. Hangbu was a hard worker, but his crops never flourished. Although he did not have great wealth, Hangbu was generous. His family and the people in his village respected him. Hangbu's brother, Nolbu, was a wealthy merchant. He enjoyed great success. Sadly, his riches did not make him kind or generous. Nolbu was greedy and he did not have the respect of the villagers. Although he saw how his brother struggled, he never offered to help. One day, Hangbu was working in the fields. He saw a snake preying on a swallow and closed it away. Swallow is a bird. I see your leg is broken, so you could not escape, Hangbu said, cradling the swallow in his hands. Hangbu brought the bird home, mended its broken leg, and nursed it back to health. Before long, the swallow recovered and flew off. The following spring, the swallow returned to Hangbu's fields and left a seed. Hangbu found the seed and planted it. Before long, 5 enormous gourds sprang up from the ground. Hangbu cut one of the gourds open. It was full of rice. He opened the second gourd and gold flowed out like water. The gourds contained riches beyond Hangbu's wildest dreams. When Nolbu discovered that his brother had become a rich man, he went to his brother and asked him how he acquired such wealth. Hangbu told his brother what had happened with the swallow and the seed. Nolbu left his brother's house, went home, and proceeded to hunt for swallows. Upon finding one, he purposely broke its leg, crudely cared for it, and ordered it to return in the spring with a gourd seed. When the swallow returned with a gourd seed, Nolbu expected to become rich. But instead of growing gourds with gold, silver, and precious stones, the gourds contained a shaman and a goblin. The shaman forced Nolbu to give up their money and their riches. Hangbu then nursed Nolbu, caring for him as though nothing bad had ever happened between them. Eventually, Nolbu realized the error of his ways, and they all lived happily ever after. So, guys, now that we have read the story and understood it, we can move to the things that we used to cover in comprehension. First of all, the first thing we used to cover in comprehension is the genre. What is a genre? Do you remember what's a genre? Okay, if you do not, then follow me to remind you with the genre. Definition of a genre. Genre is a French word meaning type or kind. First of all, it is a French word. This is something for you to know that the origin of the word genre is French. But what does it mean? It means type or kind. And the genre is related to the text. When we say genre of a text, we mean type or kind of a text. A genre is a category of literary composition. Literary composition will mean a text or a story characterized by a particular style, form, or content. So every text has its own style, its own form, and its own content. So it must have its own type or kind. That's why we say that it has a certain genre. Of genres. Just to tell you that you are not obliged to memorize the genres, okay? Every time we take a different text or a new story, together we figure out the genre of the text that we are reading based on certain standards. But here, I want to let you know kinds of the genres. We have fiction, we have realistic fiction, we have non-fiction, biography, autobiography, we have historical fiction, tall tale, fantasy, plays, folktale, poetry, fairy tale, myths, and fable. We are going to focus on folk tales. And if you remember, when I read the title of the story, Hangbu and Nolbu, we said that it is a Korean folk tale. But what do we mean exactly by a folk tale? A folk tale is a story or legend that has been told by word of mouth from one generation to the next, especially one considered to be false, not true, or based on superstition. Superstition, things that we believe but they are not true. This story is told again and again until almost all of the people in a country know the story. So this folktale is has been told again and again by mouth, okay, until almost all of the people that live in a certain country know the story. We move to the comprehension skill. Here, since we have a story, okay, we have elements of a story, okay. So the elements of a story are what you need to know about a story. So the elements of a story we are going to cover are the setting, characters, plot, which are the events, and the theme. Also, you have to know that the title of the story is a part of the story element. Setting. What do you mean by setting? Setting is the where and when, and it's very important. We cannot have a story without the setting. In other words, we cannot have a story without a certain time and a certain place where the story took place. Okay? So when we say setting, we mean where and when of a story. It's the time and the place during which the story takes place. Time and the place. And whenever I say setting, you have to answer by time and the place. You cannot answer by time only or by place only. You have to answer by both. What do we mean by characters? Directly, when we say characters, ask yourself who's the story talking about? Okay? Who here means the person, animals, and things participating in a story. Person, animals, and things participating in a story. What do you mean by plot? Plot is the organized pattern or sequence of events that make up a story. Organized pattern, sequence of events, the events of the story in the correct order of time. Or, in other words, I say the plot is the main events that summarize the whole story, okay? But they must be in correct order of time. Plot is the element that describes the structure of a story. It shows arrangement of events and actions within a story. Shows the arrangement of events and actions, the correct arrangement. Okay, so it describes the structure of the story, or in other words, simply you can say the plot. The plot is the events that summarize the whole story. One in the story elements. The theme is very important. When we say theme, we mean the moral of the story. We mean the lesson that we learn from the story. The theme is the central or general message or the main idea about life or people the author wants to get across through a story. The author is the writer of the story, okay? And the theme is the central message or the lesson that the author, the writer, wants us to learn from this story. To discover the theme of a story, think big. How? Ask yourself, what big message is the author trying to say about the world in which we live? What is the big message that the writer tries to deliver? Or what is the story? So now that we have finished from the comprehension skill, there is something very important we always face in comprehension, which is vocabulary. And vocabulary is very important because it teaches us new words that help us in writing. But how I'm going to figure out the vocabulary here? Through context clues. What do we mean by context clues? Stay with me and you will know. Vocabulary is guessing the meaning of an unfamiliar word through context clues here. Sometimes when we are reading, we don't know what a word means. What do we do? Just like a detective, we have to use clues. There are words or phrases around an unfamiliar words that can help us understand the meaning of a word. So you see, these words and the phrases that are around unfamiliar words are the context clues that help us figure out the meaning of the new word. These words or phrases are called context clues. Learning how to use these clues can help us understand the meaning of the word, help us to understand the reading, improve our vocabulary, and save us from using Google or the dictionary. We use context clues all the time. We make guesses based on the information we know. How? Let's try. I have just like a riddle or a game for you that would help you understand more what we mean by context clues. A hop, skip, and a jump. Who am I? Let's read. I'll tell you about the career that I chose. It definitely keeps me on my toes. I've been practicing since a very young age. Now I travel around and perform on the stage. I'm graceful and pretty, but I'm also real strong. My body is thin and my legs are quite long. I often wear pink and I love satin and lace. Watch me twirl, flit, and flutter. Who am I? Who dances on stage? Who is beautiful and pretty and graceful, strong, thin, young, wears pink, and loves satin? I think all of these are what? All of these are clues that help you figure out who am I? So, who am I? Okay? So, context clues play the role of the detective, okay? That help you figure out the meaning of an unfamiliar word. Other words, context clues. Context clues are words that say, stop, don't touch that dictionary. The definition of the word you don't know is right here in the text, and that's why we say context from the text, okay? Context clues, information a reader can get from the reading that helps show what a word or group of words means. Like in a mystery, you have to use the clues to find the answer. Of context clues, we have different types of context clues. First, helping words or punctuation like or, and, cold like. Example, Mary was furious or angry. Furious or angry at her brother. Opposite or same meaning. Mary's cat looks tame when sleeping but wild when awake. Tame when sleeping but wild when awake. Tame and wild are opposite. Your own experience. When Mary's dog died, she was filled with grief. You know that if your dog died, you would feel sad. So here we guess that grief means sad. Sentences before or after. The people were nomads. They went from place to place looking for food. Definition provided. Mary got a scholarship for winning the contest. A scholarship is a grant or prize to pay for school. Examples given. Mary used the utensil to eat her lunch. So now that we have finished from the comprehension part, we have to move to the phonics part, which is the revision for the short vowel sounds. Okay? Vowel letters. For sure, you all know the vowel letters A, E, I, O, U, and Y, and all the other letters are called consonant letters. The English vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. Sometimes Y is a vowel pronounced as if it were I. Sometimes W substitutes for U, especially in the digraph OW, which each vowel can be pronounced in several ways. This is just like an introduction for you. If a word contains only one vowel and that vowel appears in the middle of the word, the vowel is usually pronounced as a short vowel. This is especially true if the word is very short. Examples of the short vowels in one syllable words include the following: wet, bet, at, bat, hit, lot, but, rob, cut, fix. This rule can also apply to one syllable words that are a bit longer. Sometimes I have longer words, but they are of one syllable. One syllable we mean one part, where they cannot be divided into two parts or more. Example: chant, slept, chip, fled, and the flop. When a short word with one vowel ends in S, R, L, or F. When a short word with one vowel, pay attention, one vowel ends in S, L, or F, the end consonant is doubled. Pay attention, only the consonant S, L, or F, and I have one vowel in the word. The last consonant should be doubled, as in bill, pass, sell, jiff, and miss. Another rule for the short vowel sounds. If there are two vowels in a word, but the first vowel is followed by a double consonant, pay attention, double consonant, the vowel sound is short, such as cannon. You see, I have vowel letter, but it's followed with doubled consonant, so the first vowel letter takes the short sound. Cannon, ribbon, matter, wobble, and bunny. Okay, you see, they take the short vowel sound. And one more rule: if there are two vowels in a word and the vowels are separated by two or more letters, if I have two vowels in a word, but the vowels are separated by two or more letters, we mean consonants, the first vowel is usually short. For example, lantern, bucket, basket, ticket. Now that we have finished from the lecture, I think it's your brain time to practice the exercises in the worksheet based on the comprehension and the phonics. The exercises are very easy. They are not confusing or complicated. Don't worry if there is something that you haven't known how to answer it. During the live Zoom, you can ask me about it. Also, when I upload the solution for you, you can figure out the correct meaning. And then you get ready for your quiz on Friday. Until that time, please stay safe and I love you all. Bye.